Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Now It's Personal Marketing for Financial Services. I'm Ziad Melhem. I'll be the moderator today. It's a pleasure to be here with such a dynamic lineup of speakers and a very engaged audience that we have been seeing for the past 2 days. Um as the marketing landscape continues to evolve, personalization has shifted from being a nice to have to a business critical strategy, especially in financial services where trust, behavior, and attention are deeply complex. We'll explore today how the leading firms are building trust, driving relevance, managing fragmentation, adapting to emerging technologies like AI, and navigating regulation, all while keeping marketing sharp, measurable, and most importantly, human. We have an impressive group of leaders who bring a wealth of experience and insight from across the financial and marketing spectrum. I leave it to them to introduce themselves one after the other. Please, Alex.
Thank you, Ziad. Hi, my name is Alex. I'm the Business Development Executive responsible for the Southern African region of HFM. Originally from Greece, but living in Joburg. Thankfully for the weather, not thankfully for other reasons, as we discussed. But I'm very happy and very excited to be here to talk about marketing for a change.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Yudhvir.
I can't hear you well.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Is it on?
No.
You guys hear me? No?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
It's good?
yeah.
Okay. You can hear me now? Great. Hi everyone. My name is Yudhvir. I'm the brand director at Peach Payments. We're a PSP based in South Africa with offices in Mauritius and Kenya. And we just acquired a company in West Africa too, so we'll be in 7 more countries there. I'm from Cape Town. Welcome to everyone who's not from Cape Town. Sorry about the weather, but yeah, I hope this is the most enjoyable panel of the conference.
Good afternoon, everyone. The weather is not that bad for Cape Town today. My name is Alicja Radwanska. I call myself Cape Townian. I've been 18 years in Cape Town, originally from Poland. I'm Chief Marketing Officer for the company SideChart Party Limited. We are based in UK, but we are a global company. It's a charting library, high-performance visualization components. And we service a variety of clients from NASA to Formula One to very many financial companies like Lloyd's, like HSBC, Commerzbank. So financial industry is very close to my heart as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivan Nimerin. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for JP Markets, one of Africa's oldest operating brokers. I'm originally from Johannesburg, relocated to Cape Town, and since everyone's talking about the weather, nothing beats a good old Joburg winter in my personal opinion. But yeah, happy to be here and quite excited to talk about, some marketing and how we navigated in this industry.
Thank you very much. Let's give our panelists a big applause. In the beginning, let's look at the big picture, starting with you, Alex, from a commercial growth or even a business development perspective. In your opinion, what are the most important factors that marketing teams should understand when entering a new or fragmented market?
Okay, nice. Marketing. Okay, what a misunderstood activity, because usually people confuse marketing for promotion. And as we learn in business school, marketing is the 4 P's of the product of the marketing mix, which is product, price, placement, and promotion. So let's talk about product, for example. It is marketing team's responsibility to connect the reality on the ground with HQ. Let me give you an example. When at HFM we developed some new features for our app, the IT developers were testing all these features on the latest iPhone. But then it's marketing's responsibility to say, hey guys, maybe our target market doesn't have the latest iPhone. Maybe they're using a lower end Android device. So maybe you have to adjust what you're doing to the reality of the market. And that's an important role of marketing. At the same time, marketing should be, in order to do that, it has to be localized. It has to understand local client behavior, particularities of the area, linguistic nuances, all these things that make up the different regions and what clients need on each region. At the same time, marketing should engage with compliance at all times so that they make sure that they are compliant in each regulation and each jurisdiction that they operate. When they do that, marketing teams will be successful and will redefine themselves from being a campaign executor to actually being agile problem solvers.
Super. That leads us to how we maintain relevance while expanding Yudhvir. How do you shape a brand relevance across multiple markets that you target, where your clients operate in very different industries and at very different scales at the same time?
Yeah, Alex touched on it quite nicely now, where local nuance is everything, right?
You have to fix it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but sorry guys.
I can
sound
hear you.
It fell.
Yeah,
oh,
so-
yeah.
On your shoulder, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Don't you want
yeah,
the?
You guys.
That's
we
right.
can grab
There we go. My back. Okay.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Alex mentioned it now. Local nuance is everything. And in our world, our buyers are businesses. And I'll give you an example. Black Friday, which is a massive event in South Africa, all around the world, and quite mature in South Africa, need a very different type of message to what we were saying in Mauritius. And so what we learned from local nuance in Mauritius was that people still didn't trust buying online as much as they did in South Africa. And so a lot of the work we did in Mauritius was educating market businesses and consumers about, shopping online and safety, something that we didn't expect but had to very quickly adapt to. And so again, it's local nuance, right? It's who your customers are, the right message at the right time.
Perfect. Alicia, in marketing, we often talk about the tracking everything. Endless dashboards, hundreds and tons of KPIs, every possible soft path. But clarity for marketeers is getting even tougher and harder every time. In your opinion, how do we move past the illusion of full control of the numbers and the KPIs and the data? What is, in your opinion, a smarter, more honest way to approach attribution specifically today, one that acknowledges complexity but still helps us in our business decisions as marketeers?
Yeah, no, thanks, Ziad. So, well, I question if real attribution ever existed, the very, very true attributions. I think we often, when we talk about attribution, we feel we have control, but I think it's often a very it's not real truth. So what's happening now, like you mentioned, when the data is increasing, the amount of data that often businesses have is enormous. The dashboards and the KPIs on the dashboards, there's hundreds of KPIs, and especially with C-suites, knowing that the marketing tech stack and generally company tech stack is growing, there's more data available, and there's such an appetite of tracking every single micrometrics. And it is so critical to not be deceived by that we have so many micro data that we actually see the full picture, because the full picture is really when we're looking outside and looking at insight that is coming from this micro data. What is this data telling us about direction that we should be going, or that the trends are going and our customers are going? So we have to be very, very careful how we evaluate this data, and also to make sure that we align KPIs that we're looking at with the business goals, and we're tracking what really business goals needs us to track. I mean, there's a temptation, every click, every open rate. And my recommendation is, in terms of attribution model, is to triangulate this into three kind of key sources of data. One will be your primary data, so your CRM, your e-commerce, your apps data. Second will be your third-party platform, so whatever we're getting from Meta, Google, and whatever platforms we advertising on or we present at. And the third one is the sales intel. And we cannot underestimate it. That actually the sales interactions with prospects, with customers, later when the prospect becomes customer, any pipeline that gives us some insight into buying decisions or barriers to buy is a huge, huge insight for us that we have to take into consideration, evaluate as a whole. That's for me how how we should be looking at attribution now.
Thank you.
Thank
Now let's dive a little bit into differentiation. Ivan, as a CMO, how do you maintain distinctiveness and your marketing edge in a category where many messages, sometimes coming also from competitors, are very similar? They look and sound the same, and in an industry where clients are skeptical by default.
Thank you, Alex. I mean, it's like you said, all of us as marketers face the same issue where we're saying the same thing, fast withdrawals, tighter spreads, zero commissions. And, when people see the messaging and the advertising and all the promotion that we're doing, for them, they see it and it's like, oh, but it's already been done. Why should I get involved with this particular broker or this particular payment method, whatever the case is there? So it speaks to that deeper issue that you spoke about skepticism. I think it's more users are more cautious, especially in this fintech space, in the industry, because, you're dealing with their money at the end of the day, you're dealing with their investment. So for them, it's about the time investment needed. So for someone new that's coming into the space, for example, for them to learn about the charts or learn about the financial terms, it's very overwhelming. I know for me, when I got into it and I saw candles and spreads and all that, I was like quite overwhelmed by it. But that time investment, that initial time investment seems to be what deters people. So from a marketing aspect now, how do we educate and build that trust in a distinct way? And like Alex said earlier, but also in a compliant way, because we can't make certain claims. So it's about saying things in a creative way, saying things that, are distinct enough, but also that is transparent enough to build that trust with the user. I mean, look at JP Markets. We recently launched the JP Bucks loyalty program, and that is to reward consistent behavior, but also to reward our traders even when they don't succeed, as a way to say, you know what, you're trying it out. We want you to try it. We want you to get involved, and you're still getting something out of it. Because at the end of the day, we want to build something to attract people to trust us, but also at the same time to enjoy what they're doing with us at the same time as well. So I think to have that distinctiveness is be human, connect with people where they are, not where they want to be, but also do so where you're being transparent about it at the same time. I mean, it's very difficult in our space, but it's very possible. It's very possible.
Super. Staying on strategy for a bit, I go back to Alex. Also from a business development perspective, because it's important to hear this opinion among all the marketeers around you. How do you evaluate, from your perspective, whether a marketing strategy is truly supporting the business development efforts, especially also in regions like Africa, where market behavior and client profiles shift regularly and rapidly?
Great question, Ziad. Thank you so much. As Alicia said, there are 100 KPIs on marketing. You can measure everything nowadays, especially with all the tools and the AIs and the analytics we have. But when you define a marketing strategy, in order to assess it, you have to select not more than 3 or 4 KPIs.
Agree.
That's what I believe.
Agree.
3 or 4 KPIs, nothing more. Now, what are these KPIs? It's not just marketing's role. Marketing should sit down with business development, with sales, and find out what it is that we need to achieve with this marketing strategy. Okay, so let me give you an example. We need to avoid vanity metrics at all costs. Marketing will say, hey, look how many clicks I got. Who cares? Who cares how many clicks you got? Look how much engagement I got. Look how many comments. I don't care about things, my man. I want, tell me how many wallets were approved. Tell me how many clients we activated. Tell me how successful our clients were. Did they win? Are they trading profitably? Are they making money? Are they extending their lifespan? These are the key metrics that should be actually measured on every marketing strategy. And that's very important. As I said, to do that, you need cross-functional teams. And not just that, you need to sit down, assess the progress, and redefine the strategy. So once you do your strategy, your KPIs, and you see how it's going, you need to sit back and say, hey, are we meeting targets? Yes or no? If not, what do we need to change? Obviously, you need to take into consideration local context, as all my colleagues said. In Africa, for example, we know that mobile first wins. You have to go mobile. We know that clients love personal interaction offline, so you have to go offline as well. You need to do all these things. So a good marketing strategy should entail good KPIs, meaningful KPIs that support business development, and should be able to quickly adapt to changes in the strategy when needed.
Super. That brings us to the topic of personalization, as you mentioned. I go back to Yudhvir. Uh, from your position, when you're crafting messaging across the African markets, how are you able to balance clarity, cultural complexity, and the need to speak to different stakeholders in just one campaign at the same time?
Yeah, I think the reality is that's almost impossible to have a campaign that fits
That's
every
the short
market. I think that's the reality. The way we think about it is it's principles, right? You have business principles, you have brand principles that are based around trust, transparency, effectiveness, reliability, passion. And if those consistent messages are landed with your customer, yes, you then bring in local nuance to tailor that message, language, all those types of visuals to meet that customer where they are. And so we focus a lot on building strong principles. There's also something like, some of you might have heard it, the sea of sameness, right? I think you look around and everyone uses the same stock imagery or the same models or the same colors. And so there's that you need to break through also, right? How do you differentiate yourself? And we think about this a lot. And one of the things, and I talk about principles, is that if we develop a piece of collateral, whether it's social media, a video, a TVC, and if you take off our logo and you put on a competitor's logo or a bank's logo and it works, you fail. You throw that in the trash and you start again. Because essentially what you've done is you haven't broken through. Your your customers can't differentiate you. And so that's how we think through. We don't always achieve that all the time, but it really just keeps you in check with, I need to constantly break through as a brand.
Yeah, well said, well defined. Alicia, if we go to how the marketing leadership in the company is usually perceived from a management perspective in the boardroom. In your opinion, what needs to shift in the mindset, in measurement, or in structure for the CMO or the marketing leadership to be always seen as a strategic, indispensable voice at the big round table, not just like the delivery function or an executed for a marketing plan?
Thank you. It's a very good question, and it actually refers a lot to what Alex was talking about. Well, the biggest shift that needs to happen in a CMO's mindset, but also in a C-suite mindset, is that CMOs and marketing teams have to stop defending marketing outcomes and rather focus on and own business outputs and business results. And it's exactly talks to what Alex was talking about, KPIs. We have to make sure that, I'm not saying that for marketing team, the click-through rates, the impressions won't be important, because we have to evaluate in our own environment, initiative by initiative, and often optimize them as we go, as the campaign goes along, and reallocate the money correctly. But in a broader picture, and as a marketing success is actually if we deliver on the business KPIs. And the role of CMO, in my view, and I had a lot and read a lot and attended a lot of debates, that it's shifting. In my view, and I might sound like an old school marketer actually, we always should be owning P&L, always should be part of the board discussions about how we influence the P&L. We should, as CMOs, understand the financial language, the operations language. We should embed ourselves, marketing teams and as CMOs, across the business, not work in silos, and understand everything from product market fit and hand-in-hand work with product team to operations, how we service this customer and the whole chain, up to the communication and final interaction with customers. So I think if the CMOs and CMOs leading the marketing team to behave like this and to really embed themselves across the business, I think that we not only can have a seat at the board table, but actually set up the agenda, right? I mean, partake in shaping the strategy of the business.
Very
That's
nice.
my view.
Good. if we go to look back at things from a regional lens, Ivan, as a CMO, what's your approach to navigating the varying interpretations of compliance while still being able to produce proper marketing material that would attract and convert at the same time?
Compliance, the big C word when it comes to marketing, as we all know. I mean, everyone here can relate. You know, the creative is ready, the messaging is bold, and everything's ready to go live. But then you hear that you can't say that, or this is not approved. And, you know, that's why I think marketers view compliance as a bit of a blocker. But at the end of the day, you know, your compliance team is there to protect you from risk. But they also understand that the regulator in the space is there to protect the public, but also to build trust within the industry. That is their main focus there. And compliance, our compliance teams need to act as referees in order to ensure that we're playing those guidelines. So when it comes to now navigating those interpretations, I mean, there are clear things we can say and the clear things we can't say, but not to ignore them entirely. I mean, we've seen what happens when that does occur. I mean, recently, people were using deep fakes, using the likeness of celebrities, making misleading claims, and they had certain consequences. And those consequences were a few million rand in consequences. So, you know, that serves not as a warning, but a reality check in terms of if you don't follow compliance, you know, there are big things that can happen in terms of consequence point of view. But now that doesn't mean we can't have fun with marketing, because at the end of the day, marketing is meant to be fun. But we have in this industry and this space we operate in, you know, our fun is very guarded. But in no way should it mean that our marketing needs to be boring. Compliance should never be the reason why we produce, you know, boring content. I think it relates to my previous question, how everything is sounding the same. I think it's more, it sounds the same because that's the safe. People are playing safe. And by all means, it's play safe, but you can still have fun. You can still be bold. You can still, you know, push those boundaries, but not too far, obviously. So when it comes to now navigating those interpretations, you know, for me at JP Markets, what we've done is compliance is no longer the final checkpoint. We bring them early on into the conversation. So we ask them, like, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to say. Is this okay? Is this not okay? And then, I mean, look, I've had heated conversations with my compliance team because we're arguing over the smallest thing like could, should, would, and a whole bunch of things around that. But to navigate, you need to bring it down to one simple thing, to its core. Are you building trust with what you're saying? Are you being transparent in what you're saying? We have our guidelines from the regulator that says we can't say certain things, so we don't say those things. But can it be interpreted that we're saying these things or making certain claims? And at the end of the day, can what we're saying be backed up by actual research, by actual things? So to navigate the intricacies that is compliance, you know, bring it in from the beginning. Bring them in from the beginning, especially if you want to be bold. I mean, we have systems in place at JP Markets where we have pre-approved messaging and content and things like that. But when we want to be a little bit different and we want to push the bar and stand out more, that's when we bring them in early and have the conversation and have the necessary arguments around it to go forward with it. Because at the end of the day, we operate in a space where we have our clients' interests at heart. We do. We genuinely do. And we want them to be rest assured and have peace of mind that by choosing us, they are making the right decisions. And obviously, marketing's part of that. You know, we're conveying a message that says you can trust us. And by doing so in a way that is compliant, obviously, and obviously we're not using deep fakes anytime soon, but you know, it's about coming back to the core of being transparent, being truthful, and being honest, still playing in the same playing field or playing in with terms of the guardrails that is compliance, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I think it's all about open communication channels with compliance. That's really it.
Perfect. I would like to talk about AI, but share our real experience with the audience. AI is a big word. There is lots of poetry out there about AI, and I know that marketing itself got affected there is an influence from AI on marketing, the tools that we're using and everything. And it's an open question for all of you. With these new tools out there that are transforming how we work, where do you see the real value of AI today, as we're speaking? Is it in the insights and the analyzing the data, let's say, for example? Is it in the efficiency of the things we do? Is it on the creative direction, or something that is something else that's entirely different?
Ziad, if I may, I have a strong opinion about AI. So, disclaimer, risk warning. I have a very strong opinion. I believe that AI is not here, at least for now, to replace the human touch. Yes, it's all of the things that you said. AI can make us more efficient, can make us more creative. We can do things that took us 10 hours, we can do them in 5 minutes. Yes, all these nice things, AI can help us. If you ask me, the most profound thing about AI is the fact that it removes human bias. So when you go
Interesting.
through AI, you remove the human element. And guys, we're all biased here. We all have our own biases. We're
Yes.
different human beings, different experiences. By using AI, like trading with an algorithm, you remove the human element and the human emotion. And sometimes this can be a positive when done correctly.
It's very interesting,
Yeah.
yes. I agree with you. It's very interesting what you said on bias. I actually didn't think about it, but it is very true. And the bias is coming from experience, from culture, background, from very many. And sometimes we, even if we don't want to be biased, we are.
We are.
Under our skin. Yeah, for me, like in short, I think I kind of see it as compression. AI for me is enabling us to compress the time and increase the efficiency. So from idea generation to getting idea out of the door, from having some innovative plan, test it, to get it out, test it. And I've already seen lots of businesses doing MVPs quick out to see in the market, or even to test a product or test the app and optimize and go back to the drawing board. And I think that makes this process so actually exciting and agile. It also from the whole insight to action, right? Because like you said, I mean, there is so much easier to compress all the massive amount of data and insight and get it into action. But again, the whole reason is get into action, try it, and if not, optimize, go back and make it better. That's for me, and I agree with you. It's not to replace. I think the human you're gonna touch, I always call it gut. The human guts, the courage, even human creativity is so critical that I don't think AI can replace it. Well, I don't see it. I
Well,
think
not
that's
yet.
not yet.
Yeah, we've gone head first into as a marketing team. And ours has translated within weeks into rands and cents. So,
Sure.
and I'll give you an example, demo videos, something that ordinarily would have cost, if we went to an agency, actor, scripting, lighting, editing, maybe 50,000 Rand conservatively. We're using HeyGen to create these things. We have an avatar, sounding South African, prompting it. It's doing the job. And I always come with myself that it's not perfect yet, but it's the worst it's going to be.
Yes.
And in 6 months' time, it's going to be better. And we say, within days, we're churning out.
Yeah.
And those aren't strong brand videos. They need to serve a purpose of educating a customer about how something works. And in instances like that, we're churning these things out.
Yeah.
2 a day at 100 Rand, couple hundred Rand a
Sure.
month. And so we're trying to lead the edge also, in that. And I think our philosophy at Peach is just that this is the biggest change we will see. And as marketers, you have to be comfortable with discomfort.
Absolutely.
I think that's the reality. There's roles we haven't hired for, copywriters, content writers anymore. And to Alex's point, like you lose that human touch
Yeah.
somewhat.
Yeah.
So it's a fine balance you
Yeah.
have to find. But there are the roles now that we were looking at that has actually gone off the table because we've found these tools to do this. And like I said, it's the worst it's going to be. It's only getting better. And so for us, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Super.
I mean, with what we've been talking about AI, I mean, AI is here to stay. And where we are right now, it's developing very rapidly in terms of what it can do creatively. But I do agree that it lacks that human touch. So I don't think that's going away anytime soon. But I mean, we're building our own AI to help us with what we need to do as well. But we've also incorporated the AI in certain things from a customer experience point of view. I think that's something that AI nails beautifully in terms of when someone wants to talk to, an actual agent, you can have an AI agent do what they need to do and then connect you with an actual person. But it also helps us in terms of our onboarding process and our KYC process in terms of getting things done the right way, quickly, efficiently, because especially in this fintech space, KYC and compliance is very regulated. So to have AI that you can train on the necessary updates that come out quite when they're announced, you can have an agent basically that already knows everything and it can give the necessary information to get things through the line, through the pipeline. So I think with AI, it is a very exciting time. And if you're not getting involved in it now, I mean, you're already behind the market, if anything. So with AI, I think it's great as marketers incorporating it from a creative aspect. It does lack that human touch, but it does. I think the common thread that everyone said here, it just makes things a lot more streamlined. It saves time for us to focus on the strategic decision making CMOs from a KPI perspective. And so AI, great time saver. Helps us a lot, and I'm excited to see what happens with AI going forward. So,
Okay, Ivan, you touched on a very interesting subject where you're saying we take the AI and we create an agent.
yes.
So, say for example, we're getting that agent and we're creating a clone for Alex, the business development senior expert. Okay, as a marketeer, you have your agent with you in your own department. When you have, let's say, you want to consult a business development expert or you need the opinion of a business development expert, you'd go to the clone of Alex and ask him the necessary questions. My question here, because that's counterparts AI you're having, you're expanding the ability of your team members at the same time. But my question to you as experts, as you're seeing it, or maybe there are some use cases that you have, is it going to replace humans? So say, for example, you have the expert agent that is the genius, nuclear-powered PR writer. You trained it. It's your agent.
Yeah.
Is it going to replace your PR expert, let's say, for example?
So if I may, it's actually already happened. There was actually an AI that copied a particular author, and they asked the author a question and they asked the AI the question. And there was very similar answers. But now, the one thing that you said, you train the agent, you train the AI, and that's how good the AI is. The AI only knows what you've given it. It doesn't know your experience. It doesn't know your gut decision. It doesn't know, the necessary insights you have on certain topics. It just knows what you've told it and what it can find about you. So you can create your counterpart, yes, to handle, say, maybe high-level decision things and give necessary inputs on certain strategies. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, nothing's going to replace the original. Nothing's going to replace you, Ziad, or Alex, or any of these panel members here. So yes, we can create our counterparts. Will it replace us? No, because my AI counterpart will not know what I know. And if need be, I'll just pull the plug on it. But I think it's a great asset, and that's what people need to understand. AI isn't meant to replace us; it's meant to assist us.
So it's a human plus AI.
Yes.
It's not AI replacing the humans.
Yeah.
Do you all agree?
Don't
worry about your clone.
Do you want the romantic answer or the harsh reality?
Give me the blunt, real answer.
Of course, it's going to replace us. There is no doubt in my mind that AI is going to replace each and every one of us, with the exception of a few professions that require people touch.
You pull the plug.
Of course. The moment, at the point in time, it's called singularity, by the way, that's taken from the black holes in the universe. The point in time that AI learns how to train itself and become smarter and smarter, it's over. It's over for humans. Unfortunately, Skynet is taking over.
What about you?
Yeah, I to my point earlier, it's the unknown. For me, it's the great unknown. And I just know, as marketers, be comfortable being uncomfortable. This is uncharted territory. Never in, my life have I seen anything like this. I think all of us. So I honestly don't know. I try my best to say it won't replace us, but sometimes, yeah, I'm on the fence, to be honest.
It's interesting. I want to add two comments. So one is on the how having the Alex AI consultant in my room would be fantastic. And I'm trying to, and of course I'm using AI, and I see a massive increased efficiency and speed in my work because I don't have money to consult Alex, at that point in time. So I'm trying with at least half of the knowledge that AI has, consult me on variety of things that I'm not expert in, right? And I think that will help a lot various smaller businesses to be much more agile. And I'm talking about the senior management positions, right? To be more aware, to make more informed decisions. On the other side, I wanted to say why humans are important. And well, you can debate it because maybe at some point there will be no human teams. But as long as there are some human teams, I think leadership and culture are quite critical to build successful companies. Okay, in future, maybe there'll be no companies and only agents. But as long as we have the company that I have people, human teams, I hugely believe, and I was senior executive for a very long time and seen a lot of problems where the culture wasn't right and there was no leadership in place, and when the transition happened, and a lot of great examples when actually the great leadership that can be only done by a charismatic human leaders is building successful businesses and committed people passionate and loving and growing the business because of the human leaders.
Yeah, I believe that. I think based on what I'm hearing, I'm a believer it's a human plus AI. I don't agree with Alex much. I think it's a big enabler. I think it will expand and increase our ability significantly. I'm also betting on how technology always created and increased the jobs throughout history.
Yeah.
Things might change, specialty might change, but throughout history, technology always enables people and creates more jobs. I hope that it doesn't replace
I agree with you.
anyone
Yes.
of us. As we're nearing end of our time, can we open the space for some questions? Can you help us with microphones, please, for some questions? Couple of questions, please. 2 minutes.
Gama, and I just have a question.
We can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me? Not so loud. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. With Alex's adamancy about AI, would you agree with me that it has always been around? It's just we are meeting its frequency. So, oh, you can't hear?
Hi.
Oh,
Oh, you man.
now can you hear me?
Shout.
Please shout,
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Shout.
Very loud outside.
Shout.
Yeah, I get it. So with Alex, we're knowing that, okay. Whew, all right, this is getting tough.
Take your time. We're all
Uh,
friends.
Cool. Just on the point of your adamancy being AI taking over, would you agree that it has always been around? We're just meeting its frequency. Therefore, if it wasn't for humans, it wouldn't be existing in a sense of its frequency.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to break down when you say it's going to replace us all
Yes.
and remove redundancy in what we're doing. But do you agree that we only just meeting its frequency? It's always been around.
Okay, yeah. Now, if I get the questions about the frequency of AI, that it's just amplified right now, whereas it always existed. And you're absolutely right. So that's spot on. I do think that right now the frequency of AI is just increasing. It has always been there. We have always used artificial intelligence. I mean, think about it. When you play a computer game and you play against the computer, that's AI. Someone programmed this thing to play against you. Chess is AI, So yes, it was there. The change that happened nowadays, and I think it's going to replace us, maybe not in the next year or so, but in the next 10 years, is that Now AI can learn, have general intelligence, not just specific tasks. And this learning process can be amplified. So how do you stop? If you learn how to learn, that's what made us humans. That's why we're not apes and monkeys, because we learned and we transferred this knowledge. Now imagine knowledge that has been transferred throughout humanity in thousands of years, being compressed in minutes, in hours, and the AI is getting smarter and smarter and smarter by training itself from itself. Yes, the origins is us humans. We trained it. But when it learns how to learn, for me, it's the beginning of the end.
Sorry, we're out of time. Last question, please, and be quick. High voice, please.
Thank you so much. I think my question is also directed to Alex and Alicia, maybe possibly. Thank you so much. This is a really interesting topic of AI in the sense that I think you can all see what's happening with what's happening in the States. The robots, they're doing quite crazy stuff. So as we know that trading is one of the most difficult career that one can pick. So I want to ask you, how far are we, or we are already there, where possibly we can have many people start benefiting financially from trading, because we know there are a lot of emotions where we can utilize AI fully, like basically can go and do something else where AI is just basically executing trades, no emotions, discipline is fully monitored.
Thank you so much. Okay, trading and AI. Obviously, we all know robots. We all use AI in trading already. Now, the question is, when will we all use it more profitably and so on and so forth? I'm here to tell you we're not. No one is going to trade profitably with AI. I'm not joking, guys. Why? Why is this? Because trading requires you to have an edge. An edge over who? To your peers, to other traders. So if everyone is using AI, no one is using AI.
Well done. That's what they wanted to
Thank
hear.
you. Thank you all for your insights and your energy today. Special thanks to the audience for
Thank
being
you.
part of this conversation. Please connect with the great speakers throughout the remaining of the event. Thank you very much. Thank you, Finance Magnets.
Thank you.